How you doing? My name is Ray Naylor, and this show is called Artist You Should Know About. And my guest today is Terry Ravel. Terry, how you doing?
Hey,
We've
great.
known each other for a few years, haven't we?
Yeah, just a little while, that's all. We don't want to tell people how long, right?
Now, you're from New Jersey,
That's right, yes.
and Barrington, New Jersey.
Barrington, New Jersey.
And you've been playing music for how long?
Well,
Tell them how long, Terry.
the long version or the short version?
The short version.
I began, I believe, when I was 18 years old. The summer of 68, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And would it be fair to say your style is kind of country folky?
Well, I think, a couple people have referred to me as the missing link between folk and country, because when I play my music for most country and western audiences, they tell me I sound like Peter, Paul, and Mary and Bob Dylan.
Uh-huh.
When I play for folk audiences, they tell me I sound country.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you do a song, and we'll kind of hear what you sound like.
Okay. Well, I guess this is one of the more folky ones. Figured I'd start out with this. This is a song called Annie. I was sitting in, it just goes to show you can, make use of your time in the laundromat. And I was reading an article about Annie Oakley. And for some reason, I always thought she was not a very attractive person. And that's not mainly what the song is about. But she was not only beautiful, but the article was very revealing about what she meant to women. So that's what the song is about. And other things, maybe. Just another ordinary day. Had hours on the job and I got my pay. I was sitting doing the wash at the laundromat. To occupy my mind just to pass the time. Started the machine, it was almost 9 o'clock. Picked up the paper to read while I sat. Read about the American cowgirl, the first feminist of the Western world. There was a photo of a girl with fiery eyes and a gun. A star sharpshooting extraordinaire. I fell for her as if she was right there. Oh, Annie, you're my reason the West was won. Oh, Annie, my sweet Annie, you're the woman of my dreams. I guess it's insane. You are the queen of the wild, wild west, faster gun than all the rest. Could have beaten Wyatt Earp or Jesse James. Well, I read that article word for word. I found a new respect for one I had heard had lost a shooting match with her future beau. Well, the movie smoothed over how it really went down. She beat him fair and square, and when the smoke cooled down, they knew why she was called the queen of the rodeo. It went on to say she was a pioneer, practiced what suffragettes preached and cheered, even though she wasn't a politician. But she wasn't one of the rough cowgirls, the charm that put her at the top of the world. She's at the top of mine. Oh, what a vision. Oh, Annie, my sweet Annie, you're the woman of my dreams. I guess it's insane. You are the queen of the wild, wild west, faster gun than all the rest. Could have beaten Wyatt Earp or Jesse James. I looked at the picture for a long while. It did my heart good and it made me smile. Just wish I could see her in her Wild West show. She was the prettiest woman you've ever seen. Never would have thought she would mean anything to me till I saw that photo. Oh, Annie, my sweet Annie, you're the woman of my dreams. I know it's insane. You are the queen of the wild, wild west, faster gun than all the rest. Could have beaten Wyatt Earp or Jesse James. You are the queen of the wild, wild west, faster gun than all the rest. Could have beaten Wyatt Earp or Jesse James, Billy the Kid, Wild Bill Hickok, Pat Garrett or Doc Holliday, maybe even Bat Masterson.
In case you just joined us, this is Terry Revelle. How long ago did you write that song, Terry?
I wrote that, I believe it was in the early 90s.
Now, you used to play at a place called, I have it down here, Albert's Hall, right?
The Albert Music Hall in Waretown, yeah.
And you played there for a number of years, didn't you? Like just go on every week and...
Well, I used to go, of course, I used to play at the Perimeter Coffee House in Camden, and then we made a trip down to the... They originally had a hunting lodge back in the woods, and it was just like a regular hillbilly jam session, and I would just sit there and be nervous. I think I played Mr. Bojangles one time or something, you know. And then years later, well, after I was in a country band, and then when we broke up, I said, you know, they have a hall now. I'm going to go down and check it out. And the guy said, well, I want to hear you before you get up on stage. So I played like one verse of a Bob Dylan song, and the guy said, well, you're on. You got 20 minutes.
So that's kind of the way it was?
It's like a Grand Ole Opry every Saturday night at the Albert Hall. It's a regular family
So they still
venue.
have it?
Yes, they still have it. They now have their own building. I think you can look them up. It's albertmusichall.org, I think.
Do you still go there?
Occasionally I get there. Once or twice a year. There's a lady named Ann Leyland. Sometimes I'll sit in with her and play. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, you said you were in a band one time, a country band?
Yeah, I was in a band. My friend Gary Muller, who now lives in Nashville, played lead guitar with me. And, of course, we must have gone through about like 100 different musicians trying to hold on to bass players and drummers and female vocalists. But we had a country band. We did all the Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard stuff, and we played from about 80 to 84. And we played at some of the big country venues.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
In the area?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have a new CD that we're going to talk about, but first I want you to do another tune here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's see. I guess I should do something else. I guess I'm doing mostly tonight songs that will be on the CD. So, well, I still got my picks on. Maybe I should do this one. This is one of my traveling songs, I guess you could say. It's another song that might be a little more on the folky side. Set out on the road about 20 years ago. Whether I'll be going back, God only knows. Had a girl and a good life and left them far behind, to drag around my old six string and see what I could find. I listened to those country songs on the radio. Then I learned to play and write some of my own. All those feelings bottled up and no place to go. I just pack my bags and my guitar and sit out on the road. Now we were lovers for so long, guess we lost our touch. She never could depend on me, but never made a fuss. I guess you don't appreciate what you got until it's gone. I had to get more of the world and went out on my own. Headed down the East Coast, traveled around a while. Met some friends along the way and some made me smile. It's such a rush to know that somewhere down the road a ways there's a friend waiting for me even though I've gone astray. I played in bars in Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama. You know I love the Blue Ridge Mountains, haven't got a plan. If I ever reach New Orleans, maybe I'll turn back home. Maybe not, I don't know, maybe Mexico. Maybe Mexico. It seems that I've been gone so long, I don't know where I belong. I don't know if I'm going back, or how long I've been gone. But when I sing and play guitar, the stories they unfold. I just pack my bags and my guitar, sit out on the road, sit out on the road.
Nice song.
Thank you.
Is that an older song of yours?
Yeah, that's. I think that's a little older than the last one. That's probably. Boy, sometimes it's hard to. The longer time goes by, it's harder to remember it unless I look on the copyright date. You know, it's probably about like late '80s.
Now you have a CD coming out, Terry.
Yes, I do, and then a lot of people are asking. A lot of people are telling me that my middle name should be. When is your CD coming out?
And when is it coming out?
Well, I really do expect it by now. I can at least say I would expect it by early to mid-spring.
Okay,
it's fairly safe to say because we're just about ready to send it to for mastering.
Well, that's pretty much the end, other than getting
and then the photos and all that stuff. You know.
Do you have a title for it?
Well, there's a couple different titles. The working title has been After the Show, which is sort of relates to one of the songs that I do, and the song That Old Clock on the Wall, that kind of comes to mind as a possible title. Song I wrote about Hank Williams. There's been a bunch of other weird ones that I made a list of.
and they're all your own songs, or are you doing any covers?
Yeah. I guess, maybe if I don't do as many traditional songs. If I did, I probably would have maybe included a couple. Most of the songs I'd probably have to pay a lot for the copyrights or whatever, the rights.
It's about $90 per song.
Yeah.
For 1,000 copies of your CD. I know.
Per song.
It's a good time to ask you in terms of songwriting. How would you describe your process?
A lot of people ask that. I guess I don't have like a definite formula. when the band broke up in 1984, the country band, I hadn't written anything really before that except maybe one crude attempt, and I just started writing, and I guess I would just think of, usually what happens is I'll think of a hook and a melody, maybe just a couple of lines, and maybe something that's been in my head for a little while that I wanted to write about. It could have been somebody that I went out with, or
somebody you wish you hadn't gone out with.
Yeah, right. That's been the fodder for some of the songs too. Yeah.
We have a little slideshow here.
Oh,
of
okay.
you, and we have one of your songs. It's the one about the tear shirt. What tear?
Closet full of tear-stained shirts.
So we have it runs about a minute. So we have a portion, some of the song under the slide. So let's take a listen to that.
I've got a closet full of tear-stained shirts, so I can count up all of my real bad hurts. Some of them women are insane. They'll do damage to your brain and leave you on your hands and knees down in the dirt. They don't know what they're doing to your health, but they'll manage your mother and your wealth. When you're down and out and crying, there's no pretending or denying. They'll get your goat, you'll feel bad about yourself. I had a wild time with one lady. She got me to feel like I was crazy. With just a few dates we had some fun, but the damage was already done. Before I knew it, she was planning to have a baby. I've got a closet full of tear-stained shirts, so I can count up all of my real bad hurts. Some of them women are insane. They'll do damage to your brain.
Okay, we're back, and your CD sounds really nice, Terry.
Yeah,
and
thank
it
you.
hadn't been mastered yet. It'll sound better.
Yeah,
it's done that. And where did you do your record at?
I did it with Jimmy Heffernan, who is quite well known all over the world. Really, he's probably one of the 5 top dobro players under the world. Next to Jerry Douglas, I guess. And it kind of, I know people are going to say, what do you have Jerry Douglas on your record? So Jimmy Heffernan is right nearby me in Haddon Heights, New Jersey.
And I know he did Russ Edwards.
Russ
CD,
Edwards, yes,
and
yes.
Russ has been on here.
And he did some producing in Nashville, and before that he's been on the road and in the studio with artists like Brad Paisley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terry, I'm going to ask you to do 2 songs in a row here.
Okay, I can do that. All right. Let's see. Well, you already played Closet Full on that, right? So I guess we won't do that one. Okay. I guess I'll do the one. This was actually written for the Philly Folk Festival, and it was actually I got the idea of this when you and I were strolling around at 4 in the morning at the Philly Folk Festival back in like '94 or something. Okay. Angel in darkness, night black as coal. I couldn't see her face, but I could feel her in my soul. Walk along a smoky trail, late on a folk festival night, feeling so damn lonely, wanting to jam before the light. Then I came upon some pickers, and my guitar began to play, and they all began singing when an angel came our way. Angel in darkness, night black as coal. I couldn't see her face, but I could feel her in my soul. Her face in shadow in the darkness said she loved the song I wrote. Her silhouette against the campfires, she hung on every note. We parted ways at the dawn after she sang one more song. But I'll never lose the feeling. Wished I could take that angel home. She's an angel in darkness. Night black is cold. Oh, I couldn't see her face, but she was there in my soul. Sometimes at night I see her walking along a smoky campground trail, her guitar around her shoulders, seems like some old fairy tale. Days turn to years and now I see her at a crowded room where she sings. Still I can't see her face, all the love that she brings. She's an angel in darkness. Loneliness gets old. I can't see her face, but she is there in my soul. I can't see her face, she is there in my soul. Okay, one more, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. What am I going to do? Okay, how about... I guess I'll do that one that I referred to a little while ago. I often do this song at the end of a set. This is a song I wrote not only about Hank Williams, but for Hank Williams. I don't know if there's any songs actually written for him, but... And what I tried to get into the song was that he was a very generous person, which a lot of people are not aware of. From Montgomery, Alabama, you went on to hit the road. Louisiana hayride, Grand Ole Opry, it's told. On the stage you were singing all those songs from the heart. The people there that heard you, they were thrilled from the start. You always said, that old clock on the wall says it's time we have to go. We best be moving on. We hope you like the show. Don't you worry, my friends, we'll be back here by and by. The good Lord is willing, and the creeks don't rise. You were kind to strangers, gave your money away. Even though you were hurting, You put up with the pain, but when your voice pierced the night, like that lonesome whistle moan, it came over the airwaves, with folks listening in their homes. Then you said, that old clock on the wall says it's time we have to go. We'd best be moving on. We hope you like the show. Don't you worry, my friends, we'll be back here by and by, if the good Lord is willing and the creeks don't rise. When you left this world, you left so many songs, but this one we give you, we never got to say so long. Somewhere between midnight and the cold gray dawn, with snow in the headlights, they told us you were gone. Guess that clock on the wall said it's time you had to go. You best be moving on. But you know we love the show. Don't you worry, my friend, you'll be back here by and by, good Lord is willing and the creeks don't rise. If the good Lord is willing and the creeks don't rise.
Another nice song.
Thank you,
Terry. Kind of remember this last year you did something that I guess you wanted to do a long time. You went to Nashville.
Yeah, I went to Nashville. That was quite an experience. It's something I really should have done like years before that, but raising kids and everything, and that was a good thing too. But I definitely want to go back there. I only spent like 4 or 5 days there, and I really felt at home. Of course, I was like a tourist, going to the museums and everything. And it looks like they're repairing some of the flood damage at this point now, but unfortunately I was there before that. But I got to actually stand on the stage at the Ryman Auditorium. They let you go up on the stage, and even if you have your guitar with you, they let you bring your guitar up, which I didn't. They have a guitar on the stage, and they take pictures of you standing on the stage of the Ryman, which was the home of the original Grand Ole Opry.
Now, are they going back there? I heard something about...
No, and I don't know if there was much damage done to the Ryman. The damage was done to the new Opry House, and they just recently, or they're soon planning to do start the shows back there again. Yeah.
Now, did you get a chance to play at the Bluebird?
Yes, I did. I played at the Bluebird. That's a perfect lead-in to the next song. Yeah.
I got to do that once too.
Mm-hmm. You actually played there?
I did. I didn't know what to do, so I did C, D, and G, and actually went over.
Well, that song would go over anywhere.
Well, why don't you? Yeah. Before you do your next song, I got just a couple other things here.
Sure.
Any memorable gigs that you might have had that you can think of?
Memorable gigs. Well, let's see. At both ends of the spectrum.
Well, yeah. Why not?
Gigs
from Hell is always fun to talk about.
Yeah, right. We played. Gary and I played at a bar It was called Foley's. I don't know if it's still there on the White Horse Pike in Lindenwold or something like that. And you know, and some woman came up and flashed us while we were playing. So that was the, you know, probably the. I wouldn't call it a gig, but when I played at the Bluebird Cafe, it was probably a super thrill. I only got to do one song,
Right.
but the audience was not only supportive, but they were very enthusiastic, which was a good sign, you know. Because the first time you go down there, if you put your name in the basket or whatever, and if they don't pick you, then they give you a voucher for the next time
Right.
you come down, you know.
10 years from then.
Yeah, right. You know, right. When I'm 80, I'll go down and play.
How about influences? I know Jerry Jeff Walker is one.
Yeah. I guess I started out like a lot of people when I moved from South Philly when I was like 11, and I had like Ricky Nelson and Chubby Checker records, and of course when I heard the Beatles, I had an inkling that maybe I wanted to do something like that, and but still, my father tried to teach me how to play guitar. I didn't get very far. About 6 weeks into the lessons, I gave it up. Then when I heard Bob Dylan, he's not that bad of a guitar player, but the songs were so simple, I thought, I can do that. So I started teaching myself chords. And a couple of years later, there was this woman at Camden County College. All I remember was her first name was Linda. And she knew I was going to the folk festival that year. It was my first time at Philly Folk Festival. It was 1969, same year as Woodstock. And she said, there's this guy, I've heard his records. His name is Jerry Jeff Walker. You have to hear this guy. And I said, oh, okay. And I did, and there was no turning back. He was just fantastic. And I went to see him at the Main Point right after that. And he did a killer set, and he opened up with Driftin' Way of Life. And I'm like, I was just... And the nice thing about him was, too, he wasn't as famous as Bob Dylan, the Beatles. You couldn't get to see them. They weren't as accessible. You know, Jerry Jeff came to the Main Point many times, and you could always get to see him.
Well, what's interesting about that is, I mean, I used to listen, you know, in college I listened to, a lot of pop stuff. And there was some folky stuff like Simon and Garfunkel. And
Yeah.
I was going out on a date when I was a senior, didn't know where to go, and somebody said, because I went to school in St. David's, which is near Bryn Mawr, which is where
Right.
the Main Point was. Why don't you go to the Main Point? I didn't know what it was. Here's a guy tonight, Jerry Jeff Walker. I didn't know who he was. So I went, and that's what got me into this,
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Especially when you see somebody in a small place like that.
And David Bromberg, skinny David Bromberg was
Right.
playing.
Yeah, skinny David Bromberg, right.
do another song, Terry.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll do the one I actually at the beginning of the song I talk about being in Nashville, and when I was there, I guess I was so inspired by all the music that was going on. I think it was the night before I actually played at the Bluebird Cafe. Gary made dinner. He went to bed early. I went back to the hotel room. I stayed at the hotel because he smokes and has cats, and I thought, well, I'm not going to sleep as well. So nothing against cats, but
we left mine upstairs.
sometimes I have a slight tendency towards being allergic or whatever. So I went back to the hotel, and I was so just inspired by everything. I just sat down and wrote this song, and this is what came out. I'm very proud of this song. Turned out really good on the CD. And it's really, a lot of the song is really about people that are suffering in different ways, and that they all have something in common. I sat inside a barroom in Nashville, Tennessee, thinking about life's problems, things plaguing me. I thought about getting older and all life's miseries. Some girl I once loved back home in New Jersey. I sat there gazing out the door past the band, saw a woman leaning on someone she could barely stand. Then a man came walking in with crutches in both hands. I said, my God, this whole world doing the best it can. Do we have to hit the bottom just to bounce back to the top? I get so doggone lonesome, like someone time has forgot. Lonesome's just like hurting, broken bones and a heart that stops. We're all broken people, like the glass when it drops. Now I came on down to Nashville to visit a good friend, see what it's like to play music at the Bluebird, and then I met this lovely lady. I know I'll never see her again. Something special about her. The hurting never ends. Do we have to hit the bottom just to bounce back to the top? I get so doggone lonesome, like someone time has forgot. Lonesome's just like hurting, broken bones and a heart that stops. We're all broken people, like the glass when it drops. Now I'm thinking about the people down in New Orleans, suffering, losing families. They're all in pain. We have such fragile bodies, our hearts and our brains, but we've got each other to help build again. I had some strange dreams one night, so bad I cannot say. All the things that bother me, pain that won't go away. When I woke up, I was so far down, I did not want to face the day. I think I hit the bottom. All I could do was pray. Do we have to hit the bottom just to bounce back to the top? I get so doggone lonesome, like someone time has forgot. Lonesome's just like hurting, broken bones and a heart that stops. We're all broken people, like the glass when it drops. We're all broken people, like the glass when it drops.
Yeah, that's a nice song.
That's my Townes Van Zandt ending.
You also play sometimes with the Bells.
Oh, the Bells Trio. You haven't done this much lately because I guess working on the CD and doing local gigs in the area and going up into Pennsylvania. Mara Levine, who I guess, well, her and Caroline Catronio get most of the gigs, but they have some other people they've been working with, and Rusty and Jan go up there and do some gigs. So if I had to suddenly do a gig with them, I'd have to really work and learn the songs again.
And what's the farthest you played?
Other than Nashville, yeah, right. The farthest I played probably was up in Potter County, Pennsylvania.
Up in
Steve Collette's, yeah, he does the Songwriters Roundtable, which Rusty and Jan and I went up a couple of times. We did our little group of like a songwriter in the round we call the Now or Never Club, and then we played several times recently at the Woodsman Show. And Cafe Olga, which is a great place up there. This couple, John and Olga, run this. It's like a restaurant and a club, and it's really fantastic place to play. Great crowd.
And that's on the same area.
That's about a 6-hour drive from Philly. It's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
almost western Pennsylvania.
I've done it once. I
Yeah.
did it once, I should
Yeah,
say.
yeah. It's a long drive. Yeah.
Have you ever, as they say, shared the stage with people we might know? Did you ever?
Well, shared the stage. I guess I technically I opened for Willie Nelson once.
Okay.
We played at a bar. Another group I was in for a while. We were called Wildflower. They had a jamboree with several local bands played during the day. There was a bar called Cowboys along the Jersey Shore, and that evening Willie Nelson was like the finale act.
Huh?
Yeah, and it wasn't a lookalike. It was the real Willie Nelson.
Did you get to meet him?
Yes, I did. I got to meet him, and 2 other times after that. I didn't open for him those times, but I got to meet him then. He's a very accessible, mellow person, but he's not spaced out. He's,
I would say mellow person, yeah.
People expect him to look real high, and he's very calm but very endearing kind of person. Yeah.
I remember he told this story one time when song "Crazy," and I guess his manager was taking
Right.
the song to
Patsy Cline.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he didn't know if he wanted to walk in the building. He was afraid she would think it's a stupid song, and but he did, which was good.
I think they drove up to her door once too, or
Yeah.
something.
Tell you what, Terry, let's keep on listening to some of your music.
Okay. Maybe I'll actually, especially for the folks up in Potter County, maybe I'll do the Potter County song.
Okay.
Some of the people out there listening, I'm sure you probably recognize some of the folks in the song. And one time we were on our way up to the Woodsman show, and I was so excited. I was going up there. This song just came out. This is for Steve and everybody up there. Got 4 days off from the weekly grind. Gone up to the mountains to unwind. We're all performing at the Woodsman show in Potter County with some friends we know. The mountains go up and up and up. Cell phones don't work, but what the heck? Genesee, Coudersport, and Cherry Springs Park. Well, you can see all the stars after dark. Drove up a few times with Rusty and Jan. Can't wait to see Briz and Chuck McCann. Wondering why Steve and Debbie would move so far. Sure seems to take forever in a car. But when we got to the place in Coudersport, drove up to the Susquehannock Resort. In all the beautiful people we found friendship. So on the way back we said, now we get it. I may never find my June Carter. Johnny Cash had the only one. But I'm a-going up to the mountains, picking and grinning, gonna have some fun. Steve Collette and Jacob's Hollow, 15 beans at the Woodsman show. I'll be on stage with the Now or Never, singing along with the Bells Trio. You know, one time I stayed a little longer, bond with the place grew stronger. On a Sunday night there was a hell of a jam. And Julie's beef pot pie, oh man. Then a circle formed and I heard Natalie. Judy's bass and Nashville Cats with Steve. With Eppie singing Amelia Earhart's Last Flight. I wanted the jam to go on all night. I may never find my June Carter. Johnny Cash had the only one. But I'm going up to the mountains, picking and grinning, gonna have some fun. Steve Collette and Jacob's Hollow, 15 beans at the Woodsman Show. I'll be on stage with the Now or Never, singing along with the Bells Trio. Josh Wolf has got great songs too, you know. Singing along with the Bells Trio.
Terry Ravel. I have this little thing I put together every time I call my public service announcement, which is festivals and performers I like. We a little bit of a slideshow. We're going to run that.
Okay.
Okay. I was getting my signal there. Terry, upcoming gigs.
Yes, upcoming gigs. Well, I definitely want to mention, being that I live in Barrington, of course, even if I live far from there, there's one place I would go there all the time as my home base is the Barrington Coffee House. Triff, Donna, and Trish do such a great job running the place, and I have a acoustic song circle there twice a month on the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month. We have an acoustic song circle. It focuses mostly on originals. We stress that, but anybody can come and play anything. It starts at 8 o'clock. Barrington Coffee House the website is barringtoncoffeehouse.com. You can get all the directions from there. And they have an open mic every Thursday, shows on Friday and Saturday. And I'm doing a show with, my beautiful lady friend, Benita Segal. We've been playing some songs together now and learning each other's tunes. And together with our bass player, Al Weinstock, we're going to play Share an Evening with Scotch and Soda, which features Ted Jordan, on February 11th. So you have plenty of time to put that on your calendar at the Barrington Coffee House.
Yeah, and the little thing that we just played, the Barrington is always there. I wanted to mention the one slide the one picture we don't have this time is from Whole Wheat Radio, because Whole Wheat Radio is no more. And I just sort of want to it was a great internet radio program. Mm-hmm. And I just want to publicly thank Jim Kloss and also Esther Golden, who's his partner. They live in Alaska, for putting together Whole Wheat Radio. And I'm sorry that you won't be able to put your songs on there, because they put all independent artists. So, but It was a great thing. But for all of us, it's time we want to do something else, And I think that's what Jim is going to do. Okay. wanted to ask you, you've been in Nashville now, and you play music a long time. Is there some things that you haven't had an opportunity to do that you want to do with your music?
Well, yeah, I really love doing house concerts. I've played the Glenside House concert and the Pasa house concerts, and and a couple others. And I really like to do more of that. I really want to get out to like Kerrville to check out the festival there and some of the others, and maybe enter some songs in the songwriting contests, and especially the Kerrville. I know a couple people who have won. And that's Kerrville, Texas, I believe. Yeah.
Well, I know a couple people that just started a house concert series, and if we decide to do it the next season, we'll ask you to come.
Oh, I would be an honor.
So now we're on videotape, so I can't go back on that, and I wouldn't anyway. The next show on this show is going to be some guy I never heard. Oh, it's me.
And David interview yourself?
Well, no, David Falcone, when he was on the show, he said after it was over, he said, "You should be on your own show," So anyway, he's going to come in and interview me. Dave
Very
Falcone.
cool.
And that's going to be, well, we have a little thing about that, so it's in December something. It's December 1st.
Don't want to miss that.
He's run out of answers. There's no will to fight. An old man sits down and says, "How you doing tonight?" And he says, "I'd be good if I didn't know lonely. I'd be fine if I didn't know blue. I can see her quite clear when I look through my tears. I'd be good if I didn't know lonely." Okay. Terry, we have a slide here of your webpage and so forth, so everybody get your pencils out, write Terry's website down, because when your CD comes out, that's one place I can get it. Are you going to put it on like CD Baby?
Yeah, I plan to do all that, yeah.
Okay. But you have to be on Terry's mailing list so that when it comes out, you know about it. So go to his website and let him know that you want to be on his mailing list. So let's take a look at Terry's links here.
The pushy clerks in stores, the age jokes and more. And now I'm wondering if someone is my last vestige. 'Cause she seems like an angel to me. I was once a young man, don't you see? I'm seeing red. Is there a chance before I'm dead? Seems like an angel to me.
Okay. This is Terry Revelle. We've been talking to him and listened to his great songs. Terry, you're going to do one more tune for us.
Okay. Well, I guess like in Walk the Line movie, they said if you had one song to do, what would that be? So this, of course, is another one that will be on the CD. And probably wrote this about, this is kind of goes back to probably the late 80s, I guess. This is one of my older songs. The rose is gone from the table, the sparkle is gone from the air. I did everything I was able. I hope she knows how much I care. Her blue eyes caught me when I met her. Her laughter made me feel at home. way of doing was so tender. Thought I'd never be alone with my cup of tea in the morning, crazy loving in the afternoon, talking on the phone in the evening, share our dreams under the moon. She up and left me this morning, said she'd be all right, but I don't know if I believe her now that she's out of my sight. Ain't no other way to say it. I wish she'd come back to stay, but the rose is gone from the table. All that's left is shades of gray in my cup of tea in the morning, crazy loving in the afternoon, talking on the phone in the evening, share our dreams under the moon. Look out my window once in a while, stare out through the curtains she made of lace. Think about that girl, I have to smile. I can still picture her face. Ain't no other way to see it. I wish she'd come back one more time, but the rose is gone from the table. No more will she be mine. It's my cup of tea in the morning, crazy loving in the afternoon, talking on the phone in the evening, hold it close under the moon.
Terry Ravel. Thanks, Terry, and I can't wait for
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on here.
Your CD to come out. And we'll be back December 1st with Moi and David Falcone as my guest host. And that's it. See you then.
Pushy clerks in stores, the age jokes and more. And now I'm wondering if someone is my last vestige, 'cause she seems like an angel to me. I was once a young man, don't you see? I'm seeing red. Is there a chance before I'm dead? Seems like an angel to me.